Hi, guys, welcome back to the new entrepreneur series of the Growth Mindset podcast, where we will interview interesting entrepreneurs and their unique ideas every week. If you want to be aware of what new and interesting ideas are taking life around you, then this short 15 to 20-minute podcast episode will give you all that information. So, without further ado, let's talk to our entrepreneur of the week. First thing first, Priti, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us on the Growth Mindset podcast. It is a pleasure to have you here.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Priti, for people who might not know you and what you do today, would you like to tell people about your background and what exactly are you doing?
So, I'm Priti Rathi Gupta. I come from a background of financial services. I've been part of financial services for almost 19 years now. I started my career with running an institutional trading desk, and then followed by, of course, setting up a commodities futures desk, a currency futures desk. And at some point, I realized that women around me, whether it was within financial services or even outside, my friends, women in my family, uh, were just not interested or were managing their money. Even if they were interested, they just felt it was too difficult a thing to do. And which is what then eventually led me to set up my venture called Lakshmi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm part of a financial services company. I'm promoter of a financial services company called Anand Rathi.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also the founder of Lakshmi. We spell it LXME, but it's taken from the name of goddess Lakshmi, because I thought it was a dichotomy that
Mm-hmm.
while we pray to a goddess to help us earn money, we don't realize that we also are women and we can manage our money. And that's how Lakshmi was born. So right now I'm, it's a new venture. It's an app as well as a platform or a community which aims to get women together to talk about money, to speak, bring up challenges, opportunities, everything that could be concerning money. A safe and happy place for women to come and talk to each other, learn from each other, and also an app which allows women to very seamlessly start investing their money without really making it simple, without asking the very difficult questions that we realize that a lot of advisors ask, and ask in a way that kind of makes women a little intimidated of really getting into this space of investing.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. Can you tell us more about Lakshmi, the platform that you started? How long has it been, and what kind of women are basically coming forward? What kind of women can come forward and join this?
Okay, so the platform, I started work on the platform almost 2.5 years ago. We launched the platform about 2 years back. So this was early 2018. But we had to go back to the drawing board and relaunch it 4 months back because of the entire, there was a change in regulation which made it difficult for women to, there was a lot of paperwork needed. And this is meant to be a completely online platform. So you don't need any paperwork to be done. You can open an account in 5 minutes. You can make a decision pretty much like saying, okay, do I want to buy this dress or this dress? A decision making there is just so simple when it comes to investment. Also, one data point today, the highest number of smartphone users in India are actually women, which means that women are using your online platforms far more. They're using WhatsApp far more. They are also doing e-commerce far more. So, which
Hmm.
means today we live in an environment that women of all ages are very digitally savvy. Our target customer are essentially women who are digitally savvy, who can look at doing an online transaction, who are
Hmm.
comfortable using the phone banking, etc. So ideally I would say anyone who is above 18 years of age can, and as a woman, can come to this platform to invest. However, in our experience, we've seen that women in the age group of 25 to say 40 actually are far more, they are very, very keen to
Hmm.
attempt or take to this platform. because they are aspiring. A large majority of them are working women.
Yeah.
So for them, it's part of that ecosystem and easier to get on board. But from our perspective, we are talking to the world of women, anybody who's digitally savvy and can use a smartphone effectively.
Interesting. Now, I want to ask you this, since you're from the financial planning background. Now, for women who, obviously, as you said, right, not all women are coming forward and investing because they're scared or they don't have an idea. So, if you had to break it down for women as to what is investing and how this can help women for all, from all ages, like it could be to youngsters, let's say anywhere between 20 to 25, who are just exploring, or even women that are working class professionals, or even housewives that are not working anymore but may have some money and would like to invest. So can you break down the word investment for them, and today in the market, what are some good investment options if somebody want to do it?
Okay, so I think most women, irrespective whether they are working, whether they are, even students, for example, or housewives, homemakers, one of the inherent art that they possess is saving their money effectively. We
True.
can, for example, budget very effectively. We tend to be conservative. We are naturally, we're nurturers by nature.
Yeah.
So we take care and we protect. And therefore, even with money, we apply the same notion. So saving to us comes very easily. I think the only difference between saving and investing is really taking that one small step where you're saying, okay, let me make my money work harder for me. I've worked hard for my money. How do I make sure that my money is, one, consistently growing? So the money that I've saved, I need to make sure that this money is not losing its value. And when does that happen? When your money is not growing more than the inflation. Your money is losing value. So therefore, to make sure that your money is growing, one, more than inflation, and second, growing at a pace that would meet your dreams, your goals, is what is investment. What it involves is very simple steps of saying, I need to manage my earnings. So I need to have multiple revenue streams that I need to build. I need to save effectively, which is an art we all possess. I need to spend and make informed decisions while I'm spending, and then eventually invest, which is look at all the products that are available or all the asset classes that are available for me to put my money in, which mix, and it needs to be a mix because you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Correct.
More than one product. So which mix suits my needs the best. And that is it. Just taking that one step of saying, okay, now I need to see across these products which one is the best suited to me, is actually the most difficult decision to take. And that is very difficult because we've been fed, because the orientation is so strong that, investing is an art. It is so difficult. And, what if I make a mistake? What if I put my money into something? Stock markets have been seen as a casino, like a zero-sum game. You make 100 times or you lose all your money.
Correct.
Which is not true. The fact of the matter is that everything we do today, whether it is crossing a road, has some amount of risk. But when we cross a road, we follow certain rules, right? We look on the left and the right. True. And we wait for the signal and then we True. Cross, right? Similarly, in investments, there are some very simple rules, which if you follow, then you are, in a good place. You've got a financial plan for yourself and you sleep quite peacefully at night. And to answer your second question, that what are the different products that one can invest in? So broadly, I would categorize all investment products into, four asset classes. One is, of course, gold, which we all understand. Because we've grown up under seeing gold. But when I say gold, I mean more electronic gold or, gold in an investment format. So not jewelry. That's not considered gold. Then you have something known as debt, which is essentially an asset class or a product which is interest linked. And then you have equity, which is stock markets, which is shares and stocks which are traded on the exchange. So these are the three basic places. The fourth one is real estate. Now, real estate is something that you need lots of money to invest in, right? So what one needs to do is, based on their age, decide where do I put my money. And there is a very simple thumb rule to it. The younger you are, the more money you should put in equity.
Okay.
Right. So for example, if you came to me and you said, look, I am 30 and I want to, put my money in, invest my money, I would say from 100, deduct 70, and 30% of your money is what should go into debt and 70% should go into equity. That's a thumb rule. So the younger you are, more money into equity. And, these are very simple rules that once you kind of just take half an hour, 1 hour to understand, you can do it for yourself.
Makes sense. Now, a lot of women also have this doubt, right? Like, as you said, investment also needs a lot of money. Now, how much percentage should people come out and invest, and how can they find products like which is the right product today? Like, how can they identify that?
Okay, so the good news is that you can invest with as little as 500 rupees, right? You can start your investing journey with 500 rupees. So I think nobody should make an excuse and say, I don't have enough money to invest. Again, there is a golden rule to how you segregate your money or your earnings into, what should you spend on your essentials, what on your lifestyle or luxuries, and how much should you actually invest. And that is 30% on your essentials, 30% on your luxury or lifestyle, and 20% should go into investing. Right? And
Okay.
this is a golden rule when you start your career. As you earn more and more, a certain amount of a certain percentage from the 50% bracket should move to your investing bracket. So as you earn more, your essentials become 40%. Essentials means your food, rent, everyday, your need. That, as a percentage of how much you earn becomes smaller. So that saving should move to your investing.
Interesting.
So one can just follow that simple rule also and start this journey. But if in case you don't even have, you feel you don't have enough money to start investing, you can start investing with as little as 500 rupees. So
correct. That's very important, right? Because when people talk about investing, they think a lot of money needs to be there, but it's all about identifying whatever you have, try to make best of it. Because I remember talking to another person on the growth mindset a few months ago, wherein she said, I don't know if you know her, Monica Halan. So she told
yeah, of course
similar. Great. Yeah. So she told, you shouldn't make excuses saying, I don't have that much money, this much money. But the more important fact is, making that habit of investing. So once you get into the habit is when you'll be able to, move forward and make more money and then grow your portfolio also.
I talk about investing as a Google map, right? It's saying that this is my destination, this is how I'm starting, and this is how I'm going to reach there. Once you found that these are the products that you'll put your money in to reach your goal, then you just follow that discipline and saying how we would, blindly follow the Google map and say, okay, this will get us there. So you have to have that discipline of investing regularly, investing a certain amount of your earning. And also once you've decided that, for example, that this money you've put in for a long term, say for 5 years, then you have to have that patience of saying, okay, I will stay invested for this longer time.
Correct. Now I have a question. How can people reach out to you to leverage your platform?
So Lakshmi is available. It's there on the App Store. It's there on the Play Store. I mean, the Play Store. There on Facebook. So we're there on all social media handles. You can reach out to us very, very easily and download the app, because the app is essentially, it's meant to be, you don't need to interact with a person. It's a platform where you can get on, you can learn. There's an online course, so you can learn and figure out what works for you. You can read a lot of content. And of course, there's the investing platform. The whole idea was not to have any human interaction, but of course, we are always available on all of these platforms.
All right, makes sense. Now, I know we're coming to the end of the interview, so there are last two questions that I want to ask you. The first one being, if you could recommend two books to people, especially women who can get a little understanding about what the financing world is all about, so that they could decide better as to, how they should move ahead and start investing, what those two books can be.
So I think one book that I think everybody should read, not just women, is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It actually explains to you very simple terms of where your money should be going. For example, we live in a world where our lifestyle is all about EMI. It's important to understand which EMI should you be paying and for what. Are you building a liability? Are you building an asset? So that's one book that I usually recommend. And the other piece that I think everybody should read, which is not a book, is actually the online learning course on Lakshmi. It is like a book. It's in a very simple storybook manner, followed by a quiz, so that everything that you read, you assimilate at the end of every 5-minute module. So it kind of makes you revise, it makes you think, it makes you answer questions. So by the end of that course, you are actually very clear on where you should put your money.
Got it. Okay, and this is one last question that I want to ask you from your end. For women who want to go ahead and start investing, basically reach out to you guys, download the app Lakshmi, and then move forward. Before even somebody goes ahead, before a woman goes and starts doing that to get more information, take the first leap, what two practical advice do you have for them, which can help them become financially free?
So I think one is just build that intent and say, yes, this is a journey that I want to do. It's an affirmation to say I am powerful enough to do it. There's nothing that I cannot handle, because it's a very simple process to begin investing. I think that is the first barrier that every woman should break and say, it's simple. I will do it because it makes my future brighter. And the second thing is, before putting your money into any investment class, it's important that you know the basics. I talk of 4 principles. You should know what are the returns that you're earning on it, which is what is the, whether it is an estimated return, etc. You should know how long you can put your money in, and is there a lock-in. You should know what are the costs involved, because a lot of products do not tell you cost upfront. For example, we look at gold and we say this is the return. But do you know that if you buy physical gold, then you pay insurance, you have to have a locker room, you have to pay GST. So you should always understand the costs that are involved. And finally, I think most important, you have to understand the time that you can put your money in it for. Because a lot of asset classes, for example, if you're putting your money in equity, then you need to know this is put in for a long term, because time mitigates risk. If you need money in the next 6 months, then you have to put it into something like a debt product. So understanding all investment classes, which again is very simple to do because they're just very simple basics that you need to do. Take an informed decision and do it. Do not invest when somebody tells you, your neighbor tells you, your colleague tells you, I put my money in this and look, this is what I've earned. Make an informed decision for yourself instead of saying, because I don't understand and somebody told me this, I did this.
I loved your advice, because instead of following the crowd, you're saying, first at least get the basics right. Because if you have your basics right, you know where to invest. And then once somebody reaches out to platform like yours and they try to learn more how to invest, what are the, lock-in period, how much time, I think that'll make their lives easier in terms of understanding this. And I think also, I personally believe that, women at our end, especially in India, are actually the nurturers and have a lot of potential. When if they start investing right, they can actually start making more money and more, we could see everybody growing in the society as well. So
actually, you see societal change, because, when women start investing money, they grow the money.
True.
Take responsibility in households, and women, invest back into the community and their children. So essentially, we will see a completely different society if women take up this onus.
Exactly. Perfect. So thank you so much, Priti, for taking your time out and joining us on the Growth Mindset podcast. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Irshad. Thank you. And lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
This brings us to the end of this episode, and hope you at least had one takeaway from this interview. If you have any questions or want to talk to me personally, you can find me at www.silawathirshad.com. See you soon.